Good morning everyone. Today in this session I am going to deal with the HCl, hydrochloric acid. First let us study regarding its laboratory methods of preparation. First is its laboratory method. We can prepare hydrochloric acid by using sodium chloride. When sodium chloride reacts with sulfuric acid, we get a hydrochloric acid. Sodium chloride, when it reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid at 420 Kelvin, here we get HCl along with that NaHSO4. NaHSO4 is known as sodium hydrogen sulfate, along with that we get HCl. This further sodium hydrogen sulfate, it reacts with excess of sodium chloride at 823 Kelvin, we get HCl, along with HCl we get Na2SO4. Na2SO4, that is sodium sulfate, along with that we get HCl in the form of a gas. The obtained HCl, it is dried by passing over concentrated sulfuric acid. You know that concentrated sulfuric acid acts as a dehydrating agent, hence it is used to dry the HCl gas. In this way, dry HCl gas is prepared in the lab. After laboratory methods of preparation of HCl, next comes here its physical property. If you see the physical property of HCl, it is a colorless gas and having a pungent odor. And next one is, can be liquefied, but the color will be, you cannot get any colorless liquid. It will be slightly yellow in color. HCl gas can be liquefied, but it is little bit color. You won't get any colorless liquid. These are the two physical properties. Next comes here the chemical properties. In chemical properties, first comes here acidic nature. HCl, hydrochloric acid, it ionizes in water. HCl will split as H plus as well as Cl minus. H plus attacks on water to form H3O plus. H3O plus is known as hydronium ion. Along with that, Cl minus is obtained. Here K is, acidity constant is 10 power 7. Higher the Ka value, stronger is the acid. Next comes here second one, when ammonia reacts with hydrochloric acid, you get a white dense fumes of ammonium chloride, that is NH4, Cl is obtained. Ammonium chloride, it is having white dense fumes. So here HCl reacts with some of the weak acids. Reaction with salts of weak acids. Reaction with salts of weak acids. Here weak acids is carbonates, bicarbonates as well as sulfides. If I take example of carbonate is Na2CO3. When sodium carbonate reacts with hydrochloric acid, the hydrochloric acid, it decomposes the sodium carbonate. You get NaCl, sodium chloride, carbon dioxide gas, along with that water molecule is obtained. And carbon dioxide gas is liberated. Similarly, if you take example for bicarbonates, bicarbonate example is NaHCO3. NaHCO3 is nothing but sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate decomposes by using HCl. It decomposes to form NaCl, sodium chloride. Along with that, H2O as well as carbon dioxide gas is obtained. Here HCl decomposed, carbonate, bicarbonate. Third example is sulphite. Let us take sulphite is Na2SO3 is sodium sulphite. Sodium sulphite is decomposed by hydrochloric acid. You get NaCl, 2 NaCl, H2O and sulfur dioxide. Sodium chloride along with water, you get sulfur dioxide. This is all about the reaction with salts of weak acids. After the reaction with salts of weak acids, next comes here reaction with aqua regia. Fourth one. With aqua regia. Aqua regia, it is a mixture of concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3. Here 3 parts of concentrated HCl and 1 part of concentrated HNO3. This mixture is known as aqua regia. The mixture of 3 parts of concentrated HCl and 1 part of concentrated HNO3 is known as aqua regia. This aqua regia, it is used to dissolve the noble metals like gold as well as platinum. Let us take here gold. When gold reacts with aqua regia, here it will split as H plus, NO3 minus as well as Cl minus. It will form AuCl4 minus. Along with that you get NO and 2 moles of water. And 2 moles of water. In this way the gold is dissolved using aqua regia. Similarly, if I take platinum when reacts with aqua regia, it will dissolve in aqua regia and it will form 3PtCl6 minus 2. Along with that you get 4NO and you get 8 moles of water. This way aqua regia dissolves gold as well as platinum. These are the chemical reactions of the HCl. After chemical reactions, last part of HCl comes here, the uses of HCl. Where HCl is used? HCl, hydrochloric acid, it is used in the manufacture of chlorine gas. It is used in the manufacture of ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. It is used in the manufacture of glucose. You know that HCl, it is used in the as a laboratory reagent. It is used in manufacturing the medicines. In medicines as well as it is used as a laboratory reagent. HCl, it is used in the manufacture of the dyestuff as well as it is used in the sugar industry, manufacture of dye stuff, and sugar industry also it is used. HCl, it is used in the preparation of the aqua regia. You know that aqua regia means 3:1 ratio of concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3. HCl, it is used in the preparation of the glue. Glue is nothing but a gummy substance. This glue, it is extracted from the bones. Glue is extracted from bones. And this HCl, it is also used in the purification of bone black. It is used in purification of bone black or black bone. Purification of bone black. These are the uses of HCl. After the uses of HCl, next comes here oxo acids of halogens. In oxo acids of halogens, here I will take halogen is chlorine, it is mentioned in the syllabus. HOCl. HOCl. HOCl is known as hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorous acid. I can put even the small circle just around the elements. Hypochlorous acid is HOCl. Chlorous acid, HOCl, O is known as chlorous acid. HOClO, or you can write it as HClO twice. HClO2 is chlorous acid. HClO3 is known as chloric acid. HClO3. HClO3 is known as chloric acid. You can just put the circles around these atoms. It's known as chloric acid. If one extra oxygen is added, HClO4, it is known as perchloric acid. HClO4 is known as perchloric acid. These are the structures of the oxo acids of halogens. After this, let us see the formula of these oxo acids of halogens. Here the Roman 1 represent the oxidation state of the halogen atom. It is also known as hypohalous acid. After this, halic acid. Here oxidation state is 3. It is known as Hallous acid. If the oxidation state is 5, it is known as halic acid. If oxidation state of the halogen is 7, it is known as perhalic acid. Perhalic acid. Here, first one is for halic acid or hypohalous acid, HOF. HOF is hypofluorous acid. Hypofluorous acid. You don't have any other oxidation state here, it exists only as HOF. After fluorine comes here the chlorine. HOCl is known as hypochlorous acid. It exists as HOClO, or you can write it as HClO twice. It is chlorous acid. If it is HOClO2 or HClO3, it is chloric acid. Here the oxidation state of chlorine will be here 5. It will 5 bonds. HClO4 is nothing but perchloric acid. This is regarding the chlorine. Chlorine, next comes here the bromine. HOBr is known as hypobromous acid. Here this does not exist in the form of HOBrO. You can see HBrO3, that is bromic acid, as well as HBrO4, that is perbromic acid. Last one comes here the iodine. It exists in the form of HOI. HOI, it is known as hypoiodous acid. It exists as HiO3 as iodic acid. It also exists as HiO4. We call it as periodic acid. These are all the halogens, oxoacids formulas. After this, next comes here the interhalogen compounds. The word itself indicates interhalogen compounds are nothing but here halogen compounds combine with other halogen atoms to form a compounds is known as interhalogen compounds. Here to form interhalogen compounds, the two different halogens directly they combine to form interhalogen compounds. Example, if I take here chlorine reacts with fluorine to form here ClF3. 573 Kelvin. If excess of fluorine reacts with chlorine here, 5 molecules of fluorine, if excess reacts, you get at 437 Kelvin, you get ClF5. If iodine reacts with chlorine, you get ICl. If it reacts with excess of chlorine, iodine, you get ICl5. Similarly, bromine, if it reacts with fluorine, 3 molecules of fluorine, you get BrF3. If it reacts with bromine with excess of fluorine, 5 molecules of fluorine, if it reacts, you get BrF5, 2 moles of BrF5. These are some of the examples of the formation of interhalogen compounds. This is very important in the exam. You get this one for 1 mark questions. They give you the reactants, they may ask you product or one of the reactants they may ask in the exam. For 1 mark question you get from this part. Here interhalogen compounds, if we see the types of interhalogen compounds, types as well as examples and geometry. Here first type is of the type X dash. Here X is a halogen with larger size and less electronegativity. X dash is a halogen with smaller size and high electronegativity. Some of the example for X dash is ClF, IF, IBr, ICl, BrF and so on. Here ClF, it is straight, geometry is linear. Second type is X3 dash. Here example are BrF3, IF3, ClF3. Here the geometry is a bent T-shaped. Bent T-shaped. You have to remember the geometry in the exam. They ask in the competitive exam. You have to remember the examples with the geometry. X5 dash, like BrF5, example ICl5. Here the geometry is square pyramidal. X7 dash, you see one example is IF7. IF7, it is having pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. Its geometry is pentagonal bipyramidal. If you see the hybridization, for this is sp3 D3 hybridization, this is sp3 D2, this is sp3 D hybridization. These are the interhalogen compounds. After this interhalogen compounds, its types, let us see the structure of BrF3. Bromine, its atomic number is 35. If we write its electronic configuration with respect to noble gas argon, 3d10, 4s2, 4p5. If you see here, there are 7 electrons in its outermost shell. Bromine is having outermost shell is 7 electrons. Bromine, it will use 3 electrons in the bond formation with the 3 fluorine atoms. 3 electrons are involved in bond pairs, and remaining out of 7 remaining 4 electrons, it will form 2 pairs, 2 lone pairs of electrons. But according to VS-EPR theory, here BrF3, it should be trigonal bipyramidal structure. It should be trigonal bipyramidal structure with the 2 lone pairs should occupy the 2 corners of the equatorial position, and another fluorine here equatorial, and 2 should be axial. This is according to VS-EPR theory. It should be trigonal bipyramidal structure, but actually it is not trigonal bipyramidal structure. It is having a bent T shape. The structure of BrF3, it is having a bent T shape. Why it is not trigonal bipyramidal structure? It is having a bent T shape means because of the greater repulsion between the lone pair electrons. To overcome the repulsion between the lone pair electrons than compared with the lone pair bond pair, there is a great repulsion between the lone pair electrons. Hence, these lone pair electrons will repel. Hence, the bond pair electrons shift towards the it will bend towards another fluorine atom. Hence, you get a bent T shape. There is a stronger, greater repulsion for lone pair electrons than when you compare with the lone pair as well as bond pair. To overcome the repulsion with lone pair, this lone pair move here. When it shifts, to overcome the repulsion, just slightly the bond pairs of the fluorine, it shifts near to the another fluorine atom. Hence, you can see a bent T shape instead of trigonal bipyramidal structure. This is about the structure of BrF3. After the structure of BrF3, next comes here the properties of interhalogen compounds. Properties of interhalogen compounds. In that, first one is interhalogen compounds are covalent in nature and they are diamagnetic in nature. Have to remember the magnetic property also. It is very important. Interhalogen compounds are covalent as well as they are diamagnetic. If you see the interhalogen compounds, they are having high melting point, and the melting point of these interhalogens goes on increases with increase in the difference in its electronegativity. As electronegativity difference increases, the melting point of interhalogen compounds also increases. And if you see the physical state of interhalogens, they are generally volatile liquid, or it will be either volatile solid, liquid or volatile solid, except CLF, because CLF it is in the form of a gas. Except CLF, all the interhalogen compounds are either volatile liquid or volatile solid. The interhalogen compounds are more reactive than compared with the halogens. Interhalogen compounds are having dissimilar halogen atoms, whereas halogen compounds are having same halogen atoms, except here fluorine. All the interhalogen compounds are more reactive than compared with the halogen atoms here. Because of the dissimilar halogen atoms, for example, if I take ICl, ICl is an interhalogen compounds. Another halogen, if I take I2, ICl is more reactive than the I2. ICl, it is having two different halogen atoms with a difference in electronegativity, and the bond will be weak bond. This bond is weak than compared with the I bond. Hence, in one more question they ask, give reason why ICl is more reactive than the I2. ICl is more reactive due to weak bond than compared with the I2. Last property is here, the interhalogens, when it react with water, it will form an acid as well as oxo acid. For example, if I take first is XX dash. XX dash, X is what? X is a halogen atom with smaller size, and X dash is a halogen atom. X is a halogen atom with larger size, and X dash is a halogen atom with smaller size. Interhalogens of the type XX dash, when it reacts with water, here you get H X dash and HOX. HX dash and HOX. You can take any example here. You take here CLF as an example. CLF, if I take CLF, when it reacts with water, you get HF and HOCl. This is very important here. You get one acid and another is the oxo acid. If you take X3 dash, when it reacts with water, you get HX dash, and along with you get HX dash and HOXO, or I can write HXO2. XX5 dash, when it reacts with 3 moles of water, here you get HX dash. 5 are there, 5 molecules of HX dash. Here you get HXO thrice. If I take XX7 dash, when it reacts with 4 moles of water, you get HX dash 7 and HXO4. You get an acid, along with that oxo acid is obtained. So these are the properties of interhalogen compounds. Last comes here the uses of interhalogen compounds. Uses. These interhalogen compounds, they are generally used in non-aqueous solvents. They are used as non-aqueous solvents. Interhalogen compounds, they act as a fluorinating agent. Here they provide fluorine atom. For example, here ClF3 as well as BrF3, they act as a fluorinating agent. They provide fluorine atom when they react with uranium. When uranium reacts with ClF3, here it will form UF6. Along with that, 3ClF is obtained. ClF3, similarly, if I take uranium, when it reacts with BrF3, ClF3 both acts as a fluorinating agent. They provide fluorine atom. You get UF6, uranium hexafluoride. Along with that, you get BrF. These are the uses of the interhalogen compounds. This completes the group 17 elements. In the next session we will discuss regarding the group 18 elements. Thank you.